All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my brothers and brothers of the nation, hopefully ready to awaken. Uh, I'm redoing episode one, which is this, and now it's going to be out Friday, hopefully by the morning. I don't know, maybe the evening. I apologize, but it will be Friday for sure. Now, I'd like to start off with some announcements and to get into it. It's since the first video dropped, I've had some conversations with some people and connected with some people, and now I think the ball's gonna get rolling, and I have the opportunity to have it so that there's more people who more of an influence in here than just myself. So it's not as if I'm ranting for however long I end up ranting. I don't feel it's ranting, but others may, because captivation's key in the sense. Um, so yeah, just I made some changes, and hopefully, as things progress with what I have set up and whatnot, it will be a bit of a more enjoyable learning experience and conversation for all of us. Brings me to wanting to thank. I just want to thank everybody who's the 6 subscribers. Thank you very much, and I appreciate that. And the people that have watched the view, like I appreciate everybody who's just taking an interest to only the introduction aspect of it. And from there, I'm gonna get right into it. So the stuff I really wanted to cover here, I wrote down some notes for myself because I needed to organize it a little bit better. I realized I was all over the place when I tried to record the video the first time. And a little bit of a notepad here just in case I got some other stuff I gotta write down and think about. So I guess spirituality is the place to start because that's our main thing that we're talking about here. Um, Defining it's going to be difficult, so I don't really think there's a point in trying to define it, define the meaning to a word when the meaning, like the word itself, is a broad concept of something. So I'm just going to read a little bit of what I wrote here for the spirituality aspect and what I feel when people think or want to talk about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, leave some stuff in the comments and let me know if there's any other ways to think about it. But the way that I decided to generalize it in a sense is spirituality is the broad concept of a belief in something greater or beyond the self, involving holistic belief to an individual connection to others and to the world. In my opinion, religion is a form of spirituality, though cannot be used to define. You can have spirituality without religion, though you cannot have religion without spirituality. And spirituality is exploring the use of curiosity, thus offering a worldwide view that suggests there is more to life than just what people experience on a sensory or physical level. Now, I do understand there's way more to it. There's a hell of a lot more to it, which is the whole point of all of this. So that there's obviously more that I know to it as well than what I'm writing, but just getting the idea out there, and just trying to start a little bit of a discussion about it because I need to learn, man. I need to learn just as much as all of you, which is the whole point of all of this. It's the platform to allow everybody to start to learn and start to do some spiritual growth within themselves and whatnot, and then watch as it happens around them. So for me, the spirituality part of the journey really started when I started thinking and asking myself the 2 main questions, which was the meaning to life, along with my purpose to this meaning and whatnot. It's gonna be off topic, but we're back to my chai biological tea, or should I say biologic organic? Delicious chai stuff. Love it. Fun fact, chai means tea, so chai tea is tea. Anyway, now, I guess with spirituality, it's, in my case, unfortunately, I was fortunate enough to, I guess, not have to suffer from the pressure of having additive like family morals and like them shoving them this what they believe down your throat and whatnot as being or your parents and all that. So I guess I was kind of lucky in a bit of a way. Um, Obviously there were like the cons to that aspect, but the pro that was one of the main pros. So because I didn't have to go through suffering from like the pressure of all that, it really opened the door for me to take in, I guess, the frequency of our planet. Um, and it also gave me a lot of time to explore the questions very in depthly. And I'm still not fully there, but I've gotten to a place where I'm at least able to look at myself and look at everything I've done and reflect. And that's then, I think, a key part of my strength is the reflection aspect of it. Um, and throughout, like, I guess my whole journey, a lot of stuff's been reading and researching and I guess trying to dive into the past of more or less where we came from and like how spirituality has shaped and also the journey others have had throughout the past and where it kind of got them. And now I haven't been able to go and physically read any books or scriptures and whatnot, so almost everything that I have has been solely based off research on the internet. And then other books that I've read through libraries and whatnot, get providing information of other people's accounts. So it's hard for, I guess, anybody because there is no book on like the absolute literal definition or meaning of spirituality and how to go about doing it for yourself. And that's because everybody is unique in their own personal selves, their own consciousness, and they're also unique in their own path. Um, and I feel like the whole point of the spiritual part is learning to understand all of that so that you may incorporate it to harmonize, learn, and experience and grow with other frequencies, other people, consciousnesses throughout this world. And um, a great part of the spirituality for us as human beings is we've been given a physical form to express our emotional conscious state. And, or should I say, energetic state? It's more of an energy. So the emotions of you are caused by the chemicals, but like it's the energy of you in a sense, and the energy of others, and harmonizing to grow with one. And I guess the 280,000 to 300,000 years that humans, as we know, have been on this planet, if we would only excavate Göbekli Tepe, maybe we might find out a little bit more and about the whole ancient culture, Sumerians, everything before that. And that's been a big key of me. And I don't know what it is, but ever since I was a boy, that's all I've ever been really interested in was just learning of the past and where we actually come from. Like people want to learn about like the place in the world, whether it's Europe, Africa, Asia and Canada. They all want to know about the background and their ancestry of that. But to me, that's all meaningless. To me, I want to go to the genes, the DNA, the history of where everything kind of like is sprouted from in a way. And that has been a magnificent journey because it sure has opened my eyes. And only recently I've really been able to express and kind of put it into words through the knowledge and the research that I've gained. And I thank Gaia for that. Gaia has been an amazing network. Like everything, you don't take it word for word. You go and do your research and whatnot. But it continued on what started happening in my public schools with the being taught the history of geography and all this blah, Christopher Columbus and that nonsense. But nothing was real and true. Like we were taught Egypt existed. We were taught there were pyramids, but also at the time we didn't know as much. And now, thanks to Gaia, it has opened my eyes and many other things. It's allowing the discussion to take place and for scientists to be able to have an open dialect. It's been phenomenal, and it makes me understand that and I could also be wrong with this, but to me, the two main components of spirituality, other than those, like, and they kind of coincide with the two main questions, and it's energy and self. And now I feel like the energy is, how would you, yeah, so that I feel like the energy would be the meaning, and then yourself is the purpose. And it it's really difficult. I know it's a really difficult thing to try to think about on your own. And a lot of people, they may be, I guess, extroverted in a sense, so they're more likely to go to the outside world or to other people to figure out these sort of things. Um, but I just, yeah, so to me, energy is the meaning, which helps you to find your purpose, which is yourself. And the energy is what you are, and the self is what you want to become, and what you are fighting for in a way, your destiny and your fate. So yeah, I don't know, like I'm trying to figure out exactly, because that's the problem with this. Without your help, it's very difficult. Because I can go on and on about me, myself, and all of my experiences and like what I've done, which I will do, because that's a big part of this, is opening up to be, have other people open up and set up that platform. And you know what? Let's just start with that. I think the two main things to focus on right here, right now, would be energy and self. And today, in our day and age, it's energy is like, I don't know, constantly being consumed, not even from person to person, but just using this phone right now to record the video and just day to day basis. That's not exactly what I'm talking about, like completely. It's more so your interactions, like interacting. It's a battle over who can take whose energy and walk away, and something that which is the main thing I really wanted to talk about throughout this video. It's this book that I came across, and this book, it kind of set the tone a few years ago. Um, as to helping me understand like my path up until now and the things that I've been experiencing, because there were like up until when I was like a young kid, for example, um, I used to go to like my friend's cottage, camping all the time. Like it wasn't necessarily family orientated, but at least there were people and I was doing things in a way, and it wasn't my own family, but like I said, at least I was doing things and I was there. And I remember seeing things like energy fields around the plants, the sun glowing off certain animals in certain ways, and the way I was looking at things, the breathing patterns that I had. And that's the whole thing. Like I was so in tuned, and I was gratefully given the ability to be so in tuned at such a young age with my body and my how I was in, I guess, spiritual health and physical health. Because honestly, not everybody is that aware, and that observant of their own self. And yeah, so as a kid, when I was seeing all that, I was really confused. And then I was hearing all this stuff about God and God and God and Christianity and Lord Jesus Christ and the Ten Commandments and this and that. And being forced to grow up fast was forcing my brain to grow up fast, which forced me to start forming opinions about this stuff pretty fast and really wanting to dissect it and look through it. And so that was what started everything for me. And the energy that was surrounding religion and the conversation in itself and the churches I would go to. And don't get me wrong, it was amazing doing a lot of the worships and a lot of the stuff I was a part of. But granted, it didn't match the other side of things that I wasn't getting from it. And being somebody who was believing in God or a God and whatnot, and it just didn't suit me. But I always believed there was like a higher power. There had to have been something that was of a higher purpose than, not a higher purpose, but a higher cosmic force than what meets the eye in us here. We have to be something that's a small speck in comparison, but still playing a great role and a big part. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, so the book here, when I started reading this book, it at first seemed kind of fake and dramatic in a way. Like it was somebody, like I thought it was a fictional story. I didn't realize that it was it was an account of a guy's entire expedition onto these scripts in Peru that um, all in all were, like, long story short to put it, there was a huge, it was sort of like a golf club or a club for rich people, like a community club for rich people, but it was more so for scientists. And it is pretty much an account of this guy's, it's called The Celestian Prophecy by James Redfield. I know you probably can't really read it because of the forward facing camera too well, but yeah, The Celestian Prophecy, an adventure, and it's by James Redfield. I recommend this to anybody who's either starting their spiritual journey or has had experiences and is looking to understand and try to find and see if there's true evidence supporting anything, or if it's just conspiracy and propaganda. I'm not a big fan of these terms, conspiracy and propaganda, but at the time I have to acknowledge that they do exist. And yeah, so anyway, off topic a bit, but here we go back to it. That book, it set the tone like a few years ago, to the awakening that I have at this moment, this time right now. And in the book, the guy's account, and he said it, and he was right. The simple things that he was doing there, and they were doing at that site in Peru, were pretty much like, you could do it at home. Anybody, you were being able to be done by anybody as long as you just pretty much did what they did, and eat vegetables was a main thing. And all that this was allowing them to do were different parts of this, like, science play, this club for scientists. Is all these different parts of this club were understanding different aspects of our spiritual consciousness and how it ties in with science and the science we know today. And now I'm on a whole, I guess, fixation. I am addicted and fixated on understanding how to grasp that control, because a lot of the main thing with, like, the meaning to life and trying to find that purpose is you're trying to find that control and that power over your own individual self, and it's not easily obtained, nor is it easily obtained with our society being another added barrier or objective in this fight. Yeah, so I'm super nervous doing this whole thing, and that's weird. Even through this, like, my energy and myself, it's just nerve-wracking, and I don't even know how many people are going to be going through watching any of this or whatnot, but it's just nerve-wracking trying to wrap your own head around your own spiritual journey. And I think everybody needs to start to take a little bit of a second to do some deep breaths. Focus on those breaths. Focus on yourself. Focus on those feelings. And this book kind of showed that it's not the looking at it that's going to hurt you. It's the running and numbing it that's going to hurt you more than anything. And that's also what life taught me more than anything at the beginning of the journey. And I was lucky enough to be able to give that humility by a fellow that was a huge influence in the beginning of my spiritual journey, Jericho, a Rasta man I met long time ago when I was a young man. And yeah, so it it's all going to be long and going to be crazy. And I know that it's not ever going to be as simple as you just wanting it to happen and it happening, but you can think it into existence and create your own reality is one of the main things. And if I had known anything that I know now when I was then, I probably wouldn't have evolved or learned half the stuff that I needed to learn in order to get to this point that I'm in right now. Um, and I guess just to conclude this part, um, for the last part of this, I really wanted to focus on, other than there's that little bit about myself, like what I feel spirituality is. I want you to try to think of it yourself and try to come to terms with what spirituality really means to you and what its importance to your life could be or maybe or is. And these are very important questions, the meaning to life and the purpose and the ones that I just explained that you should be asking yourself. They're all super important just to, one, at least start. Because starting has always been, I guess, the one key for everything. And to a lot of the big influences for this video, like Russell Brand, I've been watching a lot of Russell Brand and Jordan Peterson and Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say that are negative and hateful. But if the way Joe put it one time, it really got me thinking. And it's like, if people who are stupid, as he puts it, like, he's dumb. He considers himself dumb to an extent when it comes to certain things. And if people are able to sit down and have a dialect from walks of life that don't come from privilege and education in the sense of society putting it that way, but come from a place of hardship and work and dedication, it just goes to show that the open dialect is all that's really needed. And so the stuff that they've kind of, I guess, spoke out about over the, like, Joe Rogan's thousands podcasts, and a lot of the stuff, I was like, people that he would interview and things that were being said, and it coincided completely with the truth of what I was feeling and what I knew to be true, and that everything is this energy, and that there can't be one leading cosmic force that is dictating, because how could you really grow as an individual if you're looking to something, and it may even be true and I may be false, but we are not going to, one, start to be able to get to a step or a place where a conversation of further spirituality can take place until people are able to take the time to soul search and do a little bit of self searching and self-reflecting. The Rock too, man. Oof, The Rock. That guy's ability. I don't know what it is, but that his ability to go, and bring the positivity into his life, and man, it's something to idolize. And that's all that energy that they're putting out there. It's really making me have the energy and the confidence to look at myself. And the self-reflecting that I had to start really, really, really doing, and the reasons why I really had to do it, not just for my spiritual growth, but for life in general, was the anger, like the tension that I had built up, because I realized the whole, like, how much I held grudges. And it wasn't so much grudges in my mind though, like, or to me, I don't really consider it grudges. I considered it holding on to holding people accountable, which I guess in no way could be holding a grudge, because they refused to hold accountability. But while I was busy in my mind wanting to do this energy search and soul search to find out what it is that I'm a part of and what it is I'm feeling constantly all the time, flowing through me and out of me, I was kind of more distracted on, I guess, the main things that everybody's distracted on, and that's these societal norms and the latest outcoming gadget and cell phone and app and game system and console and like how many friends I can have and do people like me and blah blah, am I good at this or will I succeed, blah blah blah. And it's, even though those may have been like very important things for the social aspect of like the growth of maturing and gaining confidence and maybe like a complete great key and factor, it it I watched, so it's not like I watched as it halted people and it hindered their ability to push past that barrier that they have in front of themselves, or that little mask and cloth or whatever, that's a black screen that's not allowing them to see the other side, the darkness. And instead of in trying to find a way to bring that in and like find out who you are, they were kind of blinding and masking it and trying to be showing some other type of color and who other type of personality. This I was seeing from as low down as public school, and it was the schools that were even instilling it into the kids to act this way, to have the popular group and have the nerds and have this and have that, and these like they were kind of dividing everybody up even from birth. And that made spirituality and the journey to try to find or learn about spirituality made very, 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 very difficult. And there was nothing I could do as a kid, sadly, like nothing that I could ever do or ever try to do because my voice wasn't heard. And I realized it was a huge, big, big, big problem. But I just pushed. All this stuff is just pushing and pushing and pushing and giving me the energy and the confidence and the motivation to just want to keep going at it until I guess I can't anymore. And that was a big part of this episode, is I wanted this episode to just be about the spirituality. I wanted it to be about people wanting to take the time and want to learn about who you are and learn about what you can provide. And it's not what you can provide to the society and to this economy. It's what you can provide to yourself and to the knowledge of the universe and cosmos as a whole. Because this is nothing. And this is just the beginning. This entire 100-year span that we think we have on this planet is nothing. It's just the beginning. And I'm grateful to know that through personal experience and things that have happened to myself, I'm happy to know that there is more to, one, I can get the answers that I was looking for, that there is a meaning and there is more to life, and we'll get all into that later on as this continues. So for you, I guess, a little bit of something for the audience. All right, I'd like you to try to take the time not only to maybe look at yourself and begin your spiritual journey, and look at kind of how what you do to others and how everything you do affects others. I want you to do that, but more importantly than that, start to understand that you may not know what somebody comes from or where somebody comes from. And love is important and it's difficult. I suffer. That's the only reason I'm saying all this, because everything I say to myself, and I'm trying to get myself to understand and go through too and learn more and more about in order to grow. So, now that I'm talking out of my ass, I'm just doing what I'm expecting of myself and hoping other people will get that boost and do it too. Because spirituality, man, that's a beautiful thing, and just life itself and people, and along with individuality and this unity, it's all beautiful. Everything is so beautiful, and you could be able to see the beauty and, I guess, feel the euphoric essence of true happiness, bliss, and peace. So, to sum everything up, spirituality is a journey that must, should, and has got to be taken by everybody. And in our day and age, there's going to be people, and I know they're probably going to be on here saying, oh, who are you to tell me what I did? Everybody needs it. And I know a lot, and I suffered from mental health issues, and a big part of it was because I didn't understand, nor did I look or go into my spiritual side as much as I should have. It's necessary. It's a very necessary. Spirituality is very, very necessary. Our minds are made for it. Our beings are made for it. So, if you haven't gotten anything out of this, just take away the two simple questions. Start asking yourself that you probably have asked yourself since you were a kid: the meaning and the purpose. And then I want you to start to focus on the energy that you're allowing out to others, the energy you're consuming from others and taking from them without their permission, which is very destructive, which is how people feel degraded when they leave a conversation, or worse, about themselves, or down because their energy's been sucked and they're drained. That's where that is. It comes from. And it's just do a lot of more observing and be a little more vigilant and mindfulness. But yeah, be a little more mindful. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I sure as hell enjoyed doing the research. As this progresses, it will get better. I'm new to this whole thing and very nervous. So I really hope you guys have taken something away from it. If you got any comments or questions, or anything that you guys may want to talk about or bring into the discussion, I'm fully open to it. I could always use the help with providing the content, and trying to figure out how to kind of order this, because there's a lot of stuff to go through, and it's never ending. It is never ending, and there's no reason to be tired. No reason. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. And please like, subscribe, leave a comment, everything down below. And if you feel like it, click that notification bell and get her going. I appreciate you all showing the love. And to all my brothers and brothettes of the nation, have a great evening.